Move forward now. We've got 2 in the books. What we got for next week? Week 3.
Oh, man. Well, one of my favorite rivalries of all time, and maybe because I played in it, but Lindale at Van. It's the Eagles, Vandals, huge contest next week. We just talked about Van. They just lost to Pine Tree 36-30. Still a heck of a football team. Jackson Moffitt got banged up towards the end of that game, so going to have to keep an eye on him this week and see how he progresses. But the Vandals coming off that loss, they're 1-1 on the year. Lindale beat Mount Pleasant in a high-scoring baseball game, if you want to say it, 12-3. Lindale beat Mount Pleasant. So Lindale 2-0 on the year after knocking off Mount Pleasant and Hallsville, 2 5A schools that Lindale, a 4A, has knocked off to begin the year. Now they're going to go back to their own classification, take on the Van Vandals. It's in Van, and it doesn't matter what the records are at this point. Throw the records out of the window when Lindale and Van meet. That is one that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on next week for sure.
And that's a fun game. I've had a chance to go to those games, and it's the stands are packed, and you can feel the tension in the air and the energy. The energy is so strong, and so I'm hoping that we see the same energy next week at that game. And I have a hunch that we will, because you know the Lindale Eagles, they're always out trying to prove themselves. When they joined the District of Doom a few years ago, they came out, rifling, shooting, and taking care of business, and much like Pine Tree is right now. And so now that, what do you remember about that rivalry between Van and Lindale? Has it always been like this?
Man, yeah, for as long as I can remember, growing up in Lindale, you were kind of bred from birth to not like the Van Vandal Red, and it kind of just instilled on you. But at the same time, all those kids, like you grow up with those kids. So my memories of this rivalry, I remember when Jeremy Calhoun was at Van, and Calhoun would run over everybody else all season long. But that Lindale game, the Lindale Eagles made it a point to shut down Calhoun, and a lot of the times did it in that game, but Calhoun would run over everybody else. So it's stuff like that in those games that it's just the intensity. You could just tell it's a healthy dislike for one another, if that's the best way to put it. Like, there's mutual respect.
Right. Yeah.
Coach Moffitt and Coach Cochran, great guys, great coaches, great human beings, and they coach their kids the right way. They play the game the right way, and I think that in the game it's intense for sure, but after the game, they're back to being buddies after that. Now, depends on who wins that game, how quickly that turnaround to going back to being buddies is. But that Lindale Van rivalry, man, it's one of my favorites too. I know we had rivalry week this week with the Tyler schools playing each other, Longview Marshall, Lufkin Knack, but and again, maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a former Lindale Eagle, but this one takes the cake for me. Lindale Van is my favorite rivalry to keep up with.
Okay.